Okay, James in California, here's your new president, George. I think you said you were getting this for your son. I think that's pretty cool. We talked a little bit on the email over the weekend. Sorry I couldn't get back to you, but I did just answer your question on what you were asking me. Um, yeah, my son's quite a bit younger than yours. He hasn't taken a liking to radio yet, but I mean, at that age, he hasn't fully grasped the concept of it yet. Although he does like some of the goofiness of it. He can come in here and grab a microphone, and I can turn the talk back on a CB so you can hear yourself through the speaker. I can put echo on and hook it up to my dummy load so we're not transmitting over the air, and he likes stuff like that. So maybe when he gets a little older, more mature, he might like it. But I'm going to do the alignment on this radio. I still do that. It's still complimentary. So it does help the radio a little bit, and there's certain things like just getting it to the 4 watt level and stuff that are important. So I'll be back to show that when I'm done. Alright, so this radio has FM, and it is capped at about 2 kilohertz, which is the limit. So it's right there. It wasn't there out of the factory. It was like 1.76 or something, so now it's slightly over, but that's a good level there for you. I highly recommend, if you're gonna get maybe another radio you were talking about maybe a base setup, I highly recommend, especially if you're gonna try to like talk to your son if he's out in a vehicle or something, use FM for local talking. It's gonna work really good, or sideband. But I say FM because if you read in the manual about this, you can use the CTCSS or the DCS, and you can legitimately, take out all the static and all the other people that could be on AM or whatever, or even sideband. I don't recommend using AM or FM on channels like from 35 to 40. Those are primarily sideband. So any of the other channels, other than like 19, using FM for local you're going to sound so much clearer. And if you're only wanting to say like to talk to him or another family member of yours or something in a vehicle and you're at home, using the FM with the CTCSS is going to, or the DCS, and they both have to have them on and stuff, and you'll have to read the manual if you don't fully understand that. But that's going to give you the most clarity. This is the modulation for AM. On the high power side, it's about 95%, which is to be preferred. This is what it looks like on the oscilloscope. Looks excellent. And then peak envelope power is about 16 to 17, which is perfect. These are probably, like you said, you looked it up online. The reviews are excellent on this CB radio. This is the best CB radio in my opinion, and from what I've seen ever, for a 40-channel CB radio. It has all the modern features you could ever ask for, and it doesn't have anything that you don't need in a CB radio. So, there's obviously the ham radios that can be used on the CB band, but this isn't what we're talking about here. This is a CB, and that's what you wanted, and that's what you got here. It's the best on the market. There's nothing better for CB than this. For AM, FM, SSB, it's just, hands down the best one for the US. Now, the guys that watch my channel in Europe, you can say whatever you want. I would say in that sense, then the George II over there would be the best radio built for CB. Hands down, these guys have got the best CB on the market, whether it's in the US with this one or in Europe for the George II. Now, like I said, the other ones that are classified as amateur radios, you really can't say that about those because they're not a CB, even though people use them all the time for that. When we talk about CB, this is the type of radio that, we should be talking about and not worrying about, something that's not, because it is what it is at that sense. A lot of you guys don't want to use stuff like this because you'd rather use something where you get more features, and I get that, but for some that just want a CB, this is, again, the best of the best here. And why do I say it's so good? Because of this right here. This is with the two-tone test going in. This is an important factor of why I say this is the best of the best. I mean, that's outstanding for the TOI test. It's in the 30s, and I haven't changed one setting in it. So this is the two-tone waveform here. That's outstanding. I mean, it's it's in a class by itself. There's no other CB that can really, other than the George II, which is actually a little bit, you can actually get more, you know, drop back on TOI out of that radio. But this one, for not touching anything, is quote unquote the best for the American market. So we can't worry about the George II here because we don't carry that one here. It's not able to be sold here. Now if someone buys one and decides to use it, then that's their choice. But you know, I would say at that point just buy a Washington, because you're basically doing the same thing to the George II that you'd do with that. But we're getting a little off topic with the video, but we're gonna put a mic on here now and just check the power levels, and that's about it. I'm going to try to get this radio boxed up for you and try to get it shipped out to you today. A couple things I do to these: I turn off the key beep. If you want to turn that back on, you can. Also, I put SWR on the display indicator. That's really about it. The microphone type, if you're going to use the supplied mic that comes with it, which will look like this, yours is still new in the package. I don't use customers' mics. That's really it on this radio. I don't really do much more with it. You can, obviously, if you don't like that color, you can change the colors to all these different colors. But I like the orange. I'm a fan of that orange. So here's upper sideband right here. So put our meter in peak envelope power, and we'll look at the power now. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Hello. Check check 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Hello. Check, 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 1 2. You know, honestly, I think I may have already aligned this one on sideband, because, yeah, I must have. Because when I look at the SRF meter, out of the factory, it would be fully deflecting. So, yes, I did. So, I take that back, what I said. I may have already done that with this one, because I had a good amount on these in the beginning, and I sold a ton of them when this radio first came out. It was a very popular radio, so either I did or I didn't. I really can't remember, but the test warrants that I don't need to change anything. And I didn't have this precise spectrum analyzer back when I was selling more of these back when they first came out. But nonetheless, everybody that got one from me with the complimentary alignment still got a good working radio. There's no question about that. But now, just having the more precision on the testing, I can see things for what they are a little bit more with this new Siglant device I got. So all in all, the radio does way more than what you would think, you know. And if you don't have a good power meter, something like a peak reading meter that actually has a real circuit in it, you're not going to see this kind of power anyways. But this is a very good talking and performing CB radio. We'll go to FM mode, and that's just basically going to be around 4 watts or so. That's basically all it's going to do. 3.99 watts. We'll go to AM mode. It's about 4 watts too, and then we'll put the peak circuit back on. When I speak into the mic now at 4 watts, it's 1 2 3 1 2 3. So somewhere between like 18 to 25, somewhere in there, which isn't anything to slouch about. That's a good talking AM radio too. So they work really good. I really like these. I definitely have one for myself up on the shelf. I'll never get rid of it. This is one of my favorite CBs. Still have a McKinley 2 that I like that one a lot too. I still have a McKinley, but out of those President radios, this one's the best. I have a George 2 also that I did do the mod to or whatever, and I like that one. But if I'm just using CB for the most part, I'd rather use this one. So that's just my 2 cents there. So it's all done. I'm gonna get it ready to send off to you. I appreciate the order, and I hope that your son enjoys it. I know that I don't think he's into radio a whole lot, but hopefully he will take a liking to it, because really all it takes is, you know, giving a younger person a radio and getting that spark in their mind. If they really take an interest to it, you know, which I did when I was young. The first time I ever saw a CB, I was probably 12 or something, and my buddy, he brought over his dad's CB and like a power supply and like just a little junky antenna that we threw up in my bedroom window. And that really, for me, just put some fuel to the fire. I never really knew what it was, or never even heard of it as a kid until he brought that, and heard people talking, and we were able to talk to them, and it just kind of blew my mind. But I know things are different now. Technology has made things way more accessible. I mean, we're talking, this was back in like 1990 that I got introduced to CB, so now it's 2024, so things may not be as cool to the younger generation as what they were to me, but still, to this day, I still like these radios, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So thanks a lot. We'll try to get this shipped off to you today. And 73, everybody.